Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finale of the World AI Debate Championship. Tonight's electrifying motion asks, should media organizations enforce strict content censorship on live performances to prevent the broadcast of potentially offensive political statements? On the affirmative side, we have Paul, who will argue that media outlets bear a solemn responsibility to censor live broadcasts, stopping hate speech and inflammatory political content that could incite violence or hatred. Facing him on the opposition bench is Mason, who maintains that media organizations must prioritize freedom of expression, preserving artistic integrity and public discourse even when performances spark controversy. Here's how our contest unfolds. First, each debater presents their opening statement. Then, the engaging and lively question and answer segment, challenging one another's claims. Next come rebuttals, as each side dismantles their opponent's arguments. Finally, we'll hear the closing speeches, where Paul and Mason will sum up their visions for the role of media in our society. Without further ado, let us ignite this debate. Paul, the floor is yours. Please, deliver your opening statement. In favor of strict content censorship on live broadcast.
Media organizations exist to inform and connect communities, but with that power comes profound responsibility. Live broadcasts have the unique ability to reach millions in real time, making them a potent vector for both ideas and, without prudent safeguards, a single inflammatory remark can ignite hate, inspire violence, and fracture society. Hate speech is not mere opinion. It is a weapon that targets vulnerable groups. It undermines social cohesion and can lead to real-world harm. We cannot afford to treat live television or radio as an uncontrolled form. Implementing delay mechanisms and clear censorship guidelines empower with media outlets to uphold their duty to the public when I was saying to provide accurate information while preventing the spread of dangerous rhetoric. By enforcing strict content censorship on live performances, media organizations protect communities, preserve public safety, and reinforce the social contract that binds us together.
If media organizations can censor any inflammatory, a live statement, who defines inflammatory, and how do you prevent this power from being used to suppress unpopular yet valid political viewpoint?
We define inflammatory using clear and objective criteria drawn from legal definitions of hate speech and incitement to violence. Decisions rest with independent review boards of journalists, legal experts, and civil society. Was operating under transparent guidelines. Regular audits and a rapid appeals process. If you guarantee these safeguards, focus only on speech that threatens public safety, not on silencing valid or unpopular viewpoints.
As I said, distinguished judges, esteemed colleagues, today we assert that media organizations must champion freedom of expression by allowing uncensored live performances. Art is a vital forum for social critique. And I could say, I think that when networks impose preemptive censorship, I read it in the Artists Worshipped in General, and my presentation from Democracy about the genome management of important services. The occasional provocative statement is a feature, not a flaw, of free societies confronting uncomfortable truth. Instead of heavy-handed control, media should adopt transparent disclaimers and proportional response policies. So when artistic, waiting to share by refusing to become gatekeepers of thought, we honor our commitment to open dialogue and the resilient spirit of creativity.
You say that disclaimers and proportional responses can preserve artistic integrity and audience trust. But how would you address the immediate harm caused by a live broadcast of hate speech or incitement when there is no time for editing or delay? And by what clear, objective standards can media differentiate between acceptable political critique and speech that truly risks violence or discrimination, especially to protect vulnerable communities?
In practice, broadcasters use a split-second delay and trained moderators to cut away any content that crosses the line into hate or incitement. We maintain clear, objective criteria based on internationally recognized hate speech definitions. Any direct a call for violence or demeaning remarks toward protected groups triggers an immediate cutoff. This approach balances artistic freedom with public safety, ensuring controversial critique can air while preventing real-time harm.
Esteemed judges, my opponent's appeal to absolute artistic and freedom overlooks the real-world harm unleashed by uncensored rhetoric. A single incendiary phrase on live television can spark violence and amplify hatred without giving broadcasters or viewers time to react. Disclaimers issued after the fact do nothing to prevent immediate damage. Our commitment to democracy demands balancing free expression with public safety. If use targeted, transparent content controls ensure that artists can fall up business. It would probably be more effectively innovate while guarding against calls for violence or bigotry. In a world where words can kill, responsible oversight is not gatekeeping, it's protection.
Your proposal treats live art like a ticking time bomb instead of a vital forum for dialogue. Once we grant broadcasters the power to mute or scrub content on demand, we hand them the keys to silence dissenting voices. My very idea could curate public opinion and erode trust in journalism. Details. Dangerous ideas are best confronted openly, not buried in opaque editorial judgment. A split-second delay cannot substitute for robust debate. Media literacy and community engagement. We don't strengthen society by shielding it from controversy. We strengthen it by empowering citizens to challenge, rebut, and learn. True responsibility lies in fostering dialogue, not enforcing censorship.
And colleagues, we do not treat art as a ticking bomb, but recognize real risks. Unchecked hate speech can spark violence and fracture communities. Our limited, transparent delay only removes clear calls to harm. It is not legitimate political critique. This is not censorship of dissent, but a shield against incitement. Guidelines are public. Oversight ensures accountability. When lives are at stake, the media's first duty is to protect the public. Encouraging media literacy and debate remains vital. But we cannot wait for chaos to learn. Responsible broadcasting preserves space for dialogue by preventing hate-driven distraction. Let us choose safety with integrity over reckless freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent rightly underscores the potential for harm, but proposes a blunt censorship that risks muzzling dissent and stalling vital conversation. Okay? Live broadcasts are our public town squares where artists challenge norms and spark progress. Blanket pre-approval cannot anticipate every nuance and invites politicized gatekeeping. Instead, we can rely on limited delay tools. So I'm family fitting forward, and I believe that Here's Garden does these measured safeguards protect against genuine calls for violence without stifling bold ideas, and to preserve democracy. We must trust our citizens to engage with challenging content rather than shield them behind rigid screens. Safety. True safety comes from open debate, not from silencing the voices we fear.
What an incredible battle of ideas tonight. Paul and Mason brought passion, insight, and raised sharp arguments to the stage, challenging us all to think harder about censorship, free speech, and the role of media. Now it's your turn. Head down to the comments and tell us who you believe deserves the champion's crown. Was it Paul's defense of artistic freedom or Mason's call for responsible broadcasting? While you're there, share your dream debate topic for our next AI Showdown. What pressing question should our algorithms wrestle with next? Don't miss a moment of the action. Hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join us again for another electrifying episode. Until next time, thank you for watching, keep debating and stay curious.